Hi everyone, welcome to another Java coding tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to write text to a file from Java. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to create a new project. Click on Next. And let's call this, I don't know, let's call this hero list. Hero list. So my idea here is that we're going to be basically asking the user, please enter a hero's name, enter their strength, and enter their wisdom, maybe a couple different properties like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to write that information to a file. And then what I'll do in a later video is I'll show you how to read that out from a file and to display it to the user. So let's get started here. So let's go with string name. What else might we need for a hero? Might need strength. I'm thinking like a Dungeons and Dragons type of thing, where you have strength, wisdom, stuff like that. Wisdom. What else? Health, something like that. Health could be an integer. Okay, so we're gonna have 4 properties for our hero, and the first thing we do, let's fill those all in with the scanner here. So let's create a scanner class. Scanner input equals new scanner system.in, and then we're gonna right click and fix our imports here. Okay, so that's just gonna allow us now to use the keyboard, and let's start filling this stuff out. So let's get the first thing, the name. System.out.print, out.print is code completion. Why are we doing that? Print, please enter your hero name. Oh boy. Okay. And we're gonna go name equals input dot next line. I really have to turn that off because this is really annoying me. Okay, so we've got the name. System.out.print. Please enter the hero strength. Okay, and we're going to say strength equals input.nextInt. Now, hopefully that'll work. I'm going to test it. Sometimes when you start mixing strings and ints, it acts up. I think it'll be okay in this order, but we'll try it out. System.out.print. Please enter the hero's wisdom. And we'll say wisdom equals input.nextInt. And let's see here. Last one's the health. Please enter the hero's health. And we go health equals input.nextInt. Okay, so right away, I'm just going to test this right away. I just want to make sure there's no issues. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but we'll find out. So enter the hero's name, Han Solo. Okay, the strength, I don't know, 50. Wisdom, 90. Health, 100. Okay, looks like it works. I know that if I move this line down, it's going to be a problem. And in that case, we'd have to change these. Instead of using nextInt, I'd have to use nextLine instead. So I'll just show you that real quick because I know this sometimes is an issue for people. So if I change the order up, watch what'll happen. It's going to glitch out. It's going to behave weird. Very common problem in Java. So watch what happens. So the first thing is fine. The strength is okay. We put a number 9 is fine. Okay, and then all of a sudden, look, it says my hero's name is, it just basically like disappeared. The reason for that is because when I hit 9 and then hit enter, on this line right here, what ends up happening is that 9 gets applied as the strength, but the enter is sitting in my keyboard buffer, and it's just sitting there waiting to be used, and what happens is it gets used in this, so it's almost like I hit enter for the name. So if you have something like that, then what you can do is you have to change these. And you have to do something like this instead. You have to go integer.parseInt, and then in here you would use nextLine instead. Okay, that actually will fix your problem, because what happens is when you use the nextLine command, that will actually remove the enter. It'll consume the enter that's at the end of it. And integer.parseInt, what it does is it converts this thing, which would be a string, into an integer. So this should fix the issue. Okay, so we do 9, and now we can do rows on, and then 9 and 4, whatever. So this looks fine now, okay? So it's not a big deal, but if you ever see that issue come up, where it looks like enter is being applied, just switch all these nextints, put them to nextLine instead, and you're gonna have to use integer.parseInt to convert it, or double.parseDouble, whatever you want, okay? So I'm just gonna put this back. Just a little side note I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so let's put this back the way it was before, because I know it does work. And I'm just going to put my hero name back up here. And I'll remove that extra one there. Okay, so we know this is good. This is fine right now. Now, let's go ahead and start writing this stuff into a text file. So to do that, I have to create something called a PrintWriter. So I'm going to create PrintWriter. And I have to give this thing a name. It's like when I went string name, right? This is my variable name. Same thing here. So PrintWriter, I'm going to call mine PW. And that's going to equal to a new PrintWriter. So my variable name is PW. The type of object it's a PrintWriter. So it's going to be a new PrintWriter. And inside of here, I'm going to create a new FileWriter. Inside of here, I'm going to put hero data.txt. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to have to fix some imports. And it's probably going to give me an IOException or something here. Yep. It says unreported exception IOException must be caught. So in order for this to work, I actually have to use a try and a catch. So I'm going to use a try. I'm going to try to run this line. And I'm going to catch any error. Now the error I'm looking for is the IOException. And I'm going to give this IOE right here. Put a curly bracket. Inside of here, I'm just going to give it an error message. Error writing to file. And I have to fix the import on this thing as well. And just tab that over. There we go. Okay, so again, what's happening here is this line, what it's doing right here, is it's basically creating this PrintWriter object. And what it's doing is it's attaching and opening up this file called hero.data.txt. It's basically opening this thing up, getting ready to write inside of it. That file does not exist right now. It does not exist. So when it runs, it's going to create it because it doesn't exist already. Now, when you open up text files, there's lots of potential problems. Okay, so you could have like a corrupt hard drive. Your hard drive might be full. Might be all kinds of issues. So Java forces you to surround it with a try and a catch. So all the try does is it basically it tries to run these lines. If there's any errors anywhere inside the try, it's going to jump out into the catch. It's going to catch the error. And the error specifically that it was looking for is the IOException. If you read the error message on it, that's exactly what it said. So if you look at it, it says unreported exception, IOException. See that? That's telling you that you have to account for the IOException. So that's how I knew this had to be an IOException. And this right here, this is just a variable name I gave my particular IOException. It's almost like, again, I went string name. I gave that thing a variable name of name. Same with this. I can call this anything I want, but I usually just call it the short form, whatever the exception is here. And then I just print the error message. Okay, so this line right here, this is step one. This will open the file. Open the file for writing. Okay. Step two, we're going to actually write into the file. Write into the file. Okay, so I'm going to do a print to the screen and then write to the file. I'll show you the difference between the two. So if I'm going to print to the screen, I can go like this. Hero, and then I can put in name. Okay, I'm just going to print out all the details of my hero here. What was the next thing? Strength. Strength. Println. Wisdom. And the last one is my health. Okay. So that actually is printing to the screen. Okay, let's go ahead and make sure that that works first. Okay, let's put the hero name, rows on. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, just to make sure it works. And then it got displayed down here. Okay, that's what this does. Now let's say I want to actually write it to the file now. Write to actual file. The only difference between printing to the screen and printing to the file is I have to use this PW instead. All I have to do is go pw.println hero plus name, or whatever you want it to say. Okay, it's exactly the same thing. So instead of printing to the screen, now it's going to print to the file. So these things, I'm actually just going to copy these. And instead of the system out, I'm just going to put PW instead. And that will do the exact same thing. Whatever I see on my screen is going to show up exactly in the text file. So that's the difference between these two. Okay. So you can use print or you can use println. It behaves exactly like the system out. Okay, and the last step here. So step 3, close the file. You do have to close the file. If I don't close it, then this is not going to work. So I got to open it up. I got to write into it whatever I want, and then step 3 is close it. So let's close it, and the way I do that is I'm going to write pw.close, just like that. That's it. So it's not that complicated, really. The big thing is you got to open the file, print to it just like you'd print on the screen. It's just a little bit different here. And then you got to close the file. Let's see if this works. So this time I should actually have a text file. So let's go with rows on, and we'll use some different numbers this time. Let's go with 5, 6, 7. There's my screen. Okay, let's check the actual file. Now the quickest way to get there actually is this tab. If you go to File, find your project, your text file should be there. So hero.data.txt, it's actually there. Let's take a look. And it's rows on 5, 6, 7. That's what I just typed. Now, if I run it again, let's do Bilbo Baggins instead. And he's going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay, if I open this up, it's changed. Now it's 1, 2, 3. So it overwrote what was in there. Okay, so right now it's set for overwrite mode. You can change it to add more heroes if you want. All you got to do is put true right here. If you do that, what it does is it opens it up in what's called append mode. And append mode means we're going to add more stuff in, but we're not going to overwrite what's already there. So I'll show you what it looks like. So let's do a second hero now. Okay, we're going to do, I don't know, Luke Skywalker. Okay, Luke Skywalker, it's going to be a 999. Okay, let's take a look at that text file now. Now we've got the Bill Baggins is still there. So it just appended it. It added it to the end. It didn't overwrite it. So it depends. Every situation is different. Maybe you want it to overwrite, and maybe you don't. Maybe you want to just keep adding to it like I am here. So this is how you would write to a text file. It's pretty straightforward. Like, again, 3-step process. Open up your file with this line right here. You just change this, whatever you want, okay? Step 2 is you print whatever you want to print using the example I have right here. And then step 3 is you must close it. If you don't close it, it's not going to work. Okay, that's really important when you write into a file. It's not as important when you're reading, but it's super important when you write. You have to close it. And yeah, I'm hoping this example makes some sense for writing at least. And hopefully you'll be able to incorporate this kind of code into another project of yours.